Americans will need masks indoors as the United States heads for a dangerous fall with a surge in the Delta COVID cases. That's according to health experts. What health experts? I don't know. Probably the same health experts who have been wrong countless times. Todd Furniss, author of the new book, The 60% Solution, Rethinking Healthcare. Joining me now, Todd, millions of Americans tired of masks. What's going to happen if the government starts mandating them again?
Well, I think you have a lot of pushback because people are tired of this going back and forth with masks, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of walking around sense as we stay down here in Texas. If you've had the vaccination, then you're not really at a perceivable risk or a statistically measurable risk to catch even the Delta variant or the upcoming Lambda variant.
All right, so why the mask? Why the mask mandates? Is this all about power again? Is this all about ego? Is this all about scare tactics? I mean, we've got studies out there to say masks don't work. We got studies out there to say masks are harmful to kids, breathing in too much CO2. We've got people who've been vaccinated. I mean, the Yankees just had to cancel a game with the Red Sox. 3 players who've got the COVID, the Delta variant, who've been vaccinated. So what the hell's going on here?
Well, the reality is that we have people who are not really paying attention. They're cherry picking the things that they want to hear or read or implement, and they're doing so for a variety of reasons that usually are inconsistent in their application. So it's not really helpful to the American people to have this back and forth and to have inconsistent comments coming out of leadership. For example, the CDC has said there's no need to wear masks if you've had the vaccination, even with regard to the Delta variant. The same day, we had the LA folks saying, yeah, but you've got to wear a mask indoors. So why is LA better equipped to make that decision than the CDC? It's unclear to me.
Oh, it's about power. I mean, I think it's clear. I understand what you're saying. I think it's clear. It's about having control over the people. It's about imposing your will. It's not about reasoning anymore. It's about my side is right, your side is wrong, and nobody's going to back down, even in the face of quote-unquote science, even in the face of common sense. It's going to be, I'm going to control you, and the way I can do it is through a mask mandate.
Put differently, these are the rights of the collective overtaking the rights of the individual. And the rights of the collective are usually managed by a very few number of people. Mm-hmm. So you've got a person in power who says that I'm going to determine that the rights of the collective are greater than the rights of the individual, and therefore I get to decide. Now, that person is frequently not elected. So, for example, the FAA still requires that we wear masks on airplanes and in airports. Who at the FAA was elected? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. And who's right and who's wrong on this? The science, I've said this from the beginning, Todd, the science is like buckshot out of a 12-gauge shotgun. It's all over the place. And science is ever changing, yet we always heard, listen to the science, listen to the science. It's been wrong over and over and over, or it's changed. And yet we are making decisions that are ruining lives and taking away freedoms based on science that is not 100%. And we continue to do it.
It's based on science. Has been cherry-picked to develop the narrative that the speaker wants to put forward.
Right.
And that's really, in my view, that's particularly dangerous.
All right. So what can we do here? Can you put the horse back in the barn? I mean, or is it too late? Once they got rid of the masks for the majority of Americans, can you really go back to it?
I think it's going to be very hard, especially in certain states across the country where we've seen success in places like Florida and Texas and elsewhere with regard to not having masks and not having lockdowns. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be similarly difficult because we have the political powers that be in California and New York who are likely to put back the mask requirements. So I predict that we will see a return of the mask requirements in New York, Michigan, and California, for example. And I predict that we won't see that in the states with governors from the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, so it's going to be politics as usual. Todd, always appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.